It's Do Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Do Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you yesterday? We started off the week shaking the Monday morning blues with the Do Time crew. And we talked about the fact that when couples rely on each other because neither one of them have close friends, how that may kind of twist what happens in a relationship, because they say you ask that one person, you're expecting that whole person to be your whole village, and it's unrealistic. That person cannot be to you everything that you're going to need. So you need some friends, you need some close friends, because that's going to be your buffer. This person can be your everything, your cooker, your cleaner, your lover, your friend, your answer, your relief. No, you have to give that person a chance to have some level of outlet that does not include you relying on them for everything. One of the other things they talk about is one person can be both the problem and the comforter. I really liked this one because I personally have spoken to women who have had a man break their heart, but yet she's waiting on him to call to make her feel better. How does that even work? You're responsible for the pain. You can be the doctor too. So there's some bit of unreality going on there. This is unrealistic. So you gotta make sure that you keep friends so that everything is separate. All right. Here's one that came up. These last two that I'm going to mention are really, really important. One says you can be someone's everything because you'll end up burning out. Absolutely. Come on. If you were at your job and you were the chief cook, the bottle washer, the server, the host, you would burn out. The relationship is not going to be any different. But here was the clincher. Men and women are different. That was one of the last things we talked about. The fact that men take care of things differently than a woman takes care of things. He thinks things in a different way. He handles things in a different way. You cannot merge the two. And he's going to be your everything, or she's going to be your everything, because you're going to run into problems. You need the balance of life to take place in that relationship. So all in all, these are one of the reasons why they say the intimate relationships that exist, your husband, your wife, your man, your woman, they cannot be your absolute everything. That is not. You're going to need some friends. You're going to need some friends, and this stuff is important. Please do this. I stumbled on this the other night, and I normally go to another site, but as I was looking for news, I stumbled on this, and I was like, wow, we're going to talk about this here today. So thank God for all of the relevant topics that we have, and how we help ourselves and one another on this journey of life. Well, today is Let's Talk About It Tuesday, Church Folk Day. And I don't have news again today. Yes, I don't know what's going on in the news pool, but it is very, very, very poor. So I'm going to be relying on you and the Due Time crew to help me with some things and get through this morning. So come on, let's go get that healthy breakfast. Let's tell somebody, anybody, everybody, it's Due Time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere because we will be right back.
Hope that you are done waiting on people to go to church with you for you to go. Go to church by yourself. Go by yourself. Sit in the back if you need to. Literally get what you need from the Lord. I did this in my entire life change. And I want you guys to understand, when people begin to see the transformation in your life, they begin to want to know about that man who you went to church for, and your life changed, and you do this now, you do it. Yeah, come see about Jesus. Sometimes you have to go by yourself. And in the process, I learned even in that your relationship with Jesus is personal in the first place. So now, even when I do attend church with other people, we ain't sitting and talking. I'm worried about the Lord. When I'm singing to the Lord. When I'm worshiping to the, I'm not talking. I ain't here to kiki. We might laugh, of course, but like literally, my focus is truly on Jesus in the midst. So don't feel like you have to wait on other people to go to church, because you don't. Go to church by yourself. I promise you, you will meet people there in the process alongside of you as well. But stop waiting on other people and get to church.
Good morning, and good morning. Welcome back to His Due Time with Pastor Steph. And it is Let's Talk About It Tuesday, Church Folk Day. Yeah, boy, was that a wonderful Church Folk PSA. Go to church by yourself. That way you are a captive audience. You ain't got to worry about being distracted or anything like that, because you're focused. I like that. Get what you need to get by yourself. And this way you're not persuaded by other people as to what they thought and what you feel and what they felt and what they, what attracted them, or that ain't for me. You don't have to deal with that. You don't have to deal with that at all. So I like that PSA. Thank you so much, Shantice, for another good PSA. If you're in the room, come on, let Pastor Steph know so that I can say a hearty good morning to you and shout you out. Let's say good morning to our girl, Ketty. Hey, Ketty girl. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a check-in from our Minister Tamika. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on this side of the screen. Now we look forward to being on the other side of the screen with you. We have Katie says, yes, great PSA. Go to church and do it alone. We must say good morning to the ladies that hold us down each and every day. Let's say good morning to Shantice. Hey, Shantice. And let's say good morning to our girl, Anika. Hey, Anika. Thank you so much for all that you do. Miss Grace, if you're out there, good morning. We hope you're doing well today. and that you will have a day to rest. It's going to be brutal out there, so hopefully you'll be able to have a wonderful, wonderful, restful, and comfortable day. What my boy Terry said, I thought I saw his name. Oh, I did. Hey, Terrence, good morning, Your Highness. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Please tell Mom we said hello and we definitely miss her. Okay? All righty. So, as you know, we do like some trivia on our Tuesday morning. And I tell you, when I tell you that this news has been, weak. For the past couple of days, every one of my sources have produced almost nothing, and I was struggling. And I came across a couple of different trivias that I could choose from, but I landed on this one, and I don't know, we may have to jump into the second one since if this one does not turn out to be good. So we're talking about people were asked for a list of the worst baby names that they have ever come across. And we will definitely. Yes, Terrence, I see you were number one. I'm so sorry, my dear. Thank you so much. Tamika and I, Shantice, Pastor KL, we go in on the names. And these people are also going in on the names. So let's see what's on this list here. All righty. Let's see. Somebody said, I once met a kid named ABCDE, pronounced Absudi. Wow. And I genuinely thought someone was messing with me until I saw it on a name tag. Oh, some parents really do treat their kids like a creative writing exercise, and it shows. Somebody said Lester. Lester, come on, y'all. We can't put Lester on this list. Lester is an old school name. Yeah, that don't fall on this list in my opinion. All right. Someone said, I was just discussing this with my friend. I used to work with a woman named Simeon. That's kind of weird, but that ain't the strangest name. Come on. Do you want us to go back? Come on, Shantice, Minister Tamika. They want us to go back into some of these stories. Because, baby, we got some names for y'all. Okay? Some person said anything with a single apostrophe in it. You know what? I'm mad. Because I know what they're talking about. Shantice. We're talking about the worst baby names. People have submitted the worst baby names they've ever heard. Thelma! Ethel, Elsie, Esther, Stanley. I can't believe these are coming back. Wow. I knew a kid from Africa called Articulated Truck. That was a person's name. Not sure why his parents thought to name him that, but he preferred to be called Artie. Yo, that's normally short for Arthur. Yeah. Terry says, fire the parents, laugh out loud, ABCDE. Yep. He says that sounds like all history names for babies. Yep. Somebody wrote, my sister is a postpartum nurse. A few years ago, there was a new boy named, are you ready? ESPN. Pronounced Espin. You couldn't be that much of a sports fan to name your child no Espen. What they call him, Essie or S? Yo, y'all need to be fired. All of them need to be fired. All right, here we go. Somebody says Rumor, Scout, North, Apple. I could go on and on. Those names right there are names of entertainers or actors' kids. Rumor is, I believe, Bruce Willis's kid. North is, what's that? Them two dum-dums. Kardashian and Kanye. Thank you. Girl, you're a gem behind the scenes. Apple. That's one of them, those, isn't that one of Apple is that Gwyneth Paltrow's kid? I think it's one of them from Family. What not Family? What's the thing? Friends. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, they was into sports, ESPN. Absolutely, Terrence. And we got an official check-in from Miss Grace. All righty. Anything named after a state or a state capital. So my granddaughter just told me that she has two friends, they're sisters, and their names are Italy and London. But on a show called, what you call them? Family Business. Everybody got a name from a country or a state. So there's London, there's Rio, there's, oh my goodness gracious, I can't believe, Orlando, there's, everybody's got a name from somewhere. Pastor Kale says Blue Ivy. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I was named after a lovely woman who was friends with my parents. She was a World War II refugee, Ursula. Look at the baby face on the picture. You know, Shantice, you out of control. Was teased my whole childhood because Ursula Andress was a popular Bond girl. Then fast forward to when I had kids, The Little Mermaid. Oh, I've been teased my whole life. Someone said had a great uncle named Marvin. Married a lady he met in the army named Marvina. Yo. He was a no-nonsense army retiree. Had to ask permission to leave the dinner table and the like. All right, come on, Tamika. Here we go. I got Shantice's Thelma. Here's yours. Shatanya. Or Shat Anya. I knew you would enjoy that one, girl. There was a girl in my elementary class, and her name was Gussie. It was diabolical. Gussie? Why would you name your daughter Gussie? That's cruel. Gussie? Nah, you gotta be kidding me. Gaylord. Okay. Oh, you know what? This one always got me. Because once one person did it, everybody named Mama did it. Neve. And that's heaven written backwards. Oh, stop it. Well, I had a co-worker and his granddaughter. He was so excited for her to show up. Yeah, well, I said, what's her name? He said, Neve. That's heaven spelled backwards. I said, Edwin, please. And walked off. I'm sorry. I couldn't catch myself. Tamika says, yes, Paltrow's child's name is Apple. Thank you. I thought so because I saw a picture and they had her name and the baby's name. Kale says, Gussie May. Kale, get out of Alabama. Leave Alabama right now, Cal. And Gussie May. All right. Somebody put, years ago, umpiring a youth baseball game, the first baseman was Clint, not Clint. I asked, not Cliff. No. All right. You know what? Pastor Gail says Nasir is risen. Bye. Get out the chat room. Bertha. Bertha's on this list. And I gotta agree. I don't think it's fair to name your child no Bertha. Because you're always gonna be looking for somebody like big and wobbly all over the place. I had a great aunt named Minerva. I've heard that name before, years ago. Her nickname was Nervy. Then there was her sister, Early G. How do you go from Minerva and your next child, Early G, and she went by Jean? Somebody says Gretchen. Somebody says Mulva. Somebody says Hortense. You know what? Tara says Big Bertha. Pastor KL says, KL said, hold on. He said, that's my godson's name. Your godson's name is that risen thing? That Nasir? Put me to bed. All right. Maud. Tamika says Maud. And is he saying Irma? Pascal saying Irma. Yo, these are like old school names. Hortense. Archibald. I gotta look this one up close because Pastor Vinny just sent in something, and I don't know if that's right. I gotta look it up close. Are you serious, Pastor Vinny? Somebody would name them their children. Is it pronounced the way we would normally pronounce it? Oh my goodness gracious. Y'all don't love your kids. Ain't nowhere in the world you gave your child that name and you love your kid. Nah, you don't love your kid. And you don't love your Jesus either. Alrighty. Todd. What's wrong with Todd? Cletus. Eunice. Keith. What's wrong with Keith? Felicia. What's wrong with Felicia? Beulah. Now that one no. Pastor Vinny says, I have an aunt named Gussie. Wow. I wouldn't be surprised, Pastor Vinny. Back then they were naming their kids that. Somebody says Virgil. Somebody says Agatha. Draven. Bertha. Oh, Bertha showed up here on that list, y'all. Myrtle. Herman. Dick. Brett. Tracy. Wow. Clyde. Myron. Purvis. Money. For real. Somebody named their kid Money. No. Somebody named their kid Seven. Oh my gosh. Boy, oh. Okay, wait. Pastor Vinny is giving us the proper pronunciation. He said it's pronounced Shatid. Stop it. Stop it and stop it. But if it's spelled the other way, ain't nobody thinking Shatid or Shatid. Pastor KL says Tamala. What's wrong with Tamala or Tamala? Tamala. It's Tamala. What's wrong with that name? What's wrong with Keith? Yo, okay. See how we get all caught up? All right, let's see what the news is talking about. I'm starving, y'all, and my stomach is growling really, really bad. I had to share that with y'all because it's making me weak. Hopefully this tea will settle it. Oh, we got some other names coming in. All righty. Before we go on to our news, I got kicked out. All righty. Let's see if I can read. See if I can read these last couple off the screen. Pastor KL says Leandria and Jacqueline. So he's going after the gospel singers now. Okay, Pastor KL. Good morning again to you, Anika. All right, so let's see what the news is talking about. I tell you, I am so bored for the news. I am so bored. But I do have a couple of tips for you. So, there's chicken breast that's being recalled in 9 states. And it's because they have not listed allergens. And one of the allergen that has been omitted is eggs. Now I'll tell y'all that you can go bad if I have an egg allergy, and man, mine is bad enough, but if some people are allergic to egg, it's like asphyxiation. Yeah, their throat can close up and they can die. So they say that private selection honey Dijon boneless, skinless chicken breast with rib meat is being sold out of Kroger and Fred Meyer stores, and it's distributed in Alabama, Alaska, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Oregon, Tennessee, and Washington. So if you have, I just say, if that's what you got in your freezer, just send it back, period. Forget about it's not in, Minnesota or Tennessee, not Tennessee, Texas. Just send it back. So again, it's private selection honey Dijon boneless, skinless chicken breast with rib meat. And they say they are stamped with used by date of June 28th, 2026. Take it back to the store. You'll automatically get your refund. Okay. Let's see what else is happening here in our news. Okay. Oh, a caution for those of you who eat out and you write on your, what do you call that? The tip line. Right on your tip line. And they said that there was a guy in New Jersey who went to Texas Roadhouse for dinner. And when he finished, his bill was $64. So he wrote a 0 on the tip line. And when he got his receipt via email or text, he noticed that the 0 had a 2 in front of it, which meant $20 tip. And someone had changed the total from 64 to 84. Now, He says he knew it was wrong instantaneously because he had given her, the server, a $10 cash tip. So when the $20 showed up, he was like, nah, this is wrong. So he called the restaurant and they took care of it from there. And they are warning us to, they say, contact the restaurant and instantaneously contact your bank or your credit card company. Also, make sure to keep your receipts because you have a copy. Now, in this case, it wouldn't have really mattered much because the receipt we keep, we don't fill out. The receipt that we do fill out goes to the server. But they say still always keep your receipt. They say if the final charge does not match the signed total, you can provide that along with any other information to your bank that can help to support your dispute. They say make sure you do it quickly. Don't belabor the point. They say we have absolute rights for addressing these issues. They say keep your receipt, check the final posted total, and save screenshots of any bank alerts showing the amount that's settled. So they say again, contact the restaurant, open an immediate dispute with the credit card company, and ask the merchant to produce the signed receipt supporting the final amount. So Terrence is saying probably what his habits are. He says, I always fill out both receipts just in case something like this happens. And I tend to do the same thing, Terrence. What I also do, on the tip line, no matter what I put on the tip line, I always sign. I always put my initials. And I put my initials in a certain manner that ain't nobody thinks about it. Nobody thinks to do it that way. The second thing I do is I write in the total and I put my same initials on the total line. So if I make a mistake and write the wrong amount of money, I cross it out with an X and I sign once next to that. And then when I put the new amount, I sign next to that. And then I have my final signature on the bottom, which is not a standard signature. It's a different signature I have for any time I'm using my cards and I have to sign. That's my checks and balances. Because what happens is if anything ever comes up, all I have to do is tell the credit card company, look at my history. If you didn't see this receipt imitate the other ones, it ain't me. If my signature is different. So establish some type of habit. So when they look back, they can definitely see that it's not your habit of doing so. All righty. Anika says, I put lines before and after so no one can add numbers after. That makes sense. That makes sense. You ain't got no room. I like that. I like that. Good thinking. So Terrence, good thinking on the sign both. Anika, I like that. I put lines before and after. Good habits. Good habits. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. I want to have this conversation with y'all today. Shanti, show this picture for me, please. So we have a debate that's going on the internet. Now, Pastor Vinny, I know you remember this. Minister Tamika, you probably would remember this, but someone posted a group of children, toddlers who were walking like on a little field trip, whether they were going to the park, whether they were just walking them around the block. But they put a red rope from the beginning, from the first child, all the way to the last child. And each of those children were supposed to hold on. Now, I don't have to tell you that this is so that everybody stays in line. Now, they said that they even have some of these ropes that have dividers so that the children could actually like put their hand in it. Yeah. So instead of them just kind of holding on to the rope, they have their hand in the little pocket thing. So the people on the internet are in an uproar. And they said they understand the safety, but why do they have the children walking like this? So, they have others that said, years ago, I saw this and remembered how upset I was. Fast forward to 2026, this alpha generation is different. Unleashed, they'll all be headed in different directions. Now, they didn't identify the teacher, but she's a kindergarten teacher. Well, they thought she was a kindergarten teacher, but these are younger than kindergartners. They babies, they little toddlers. Look at the little feet, and everybody got on a little hat. And they tell you when you're walking in the sun, you need a hat on your head. So kudos to all the parents who paid attention to that, because that's the first thing I noticed, all the hats on the head. All righty. We have, hey, check it from Viv. Hey, Viv, good morning. Thank you for joining us. So they have, some people are like, listen, children are unpredictable. What's wrong with having them hold on to this rope to make sure they stay in place? Other people talked about the harnesses. Now, the harnesses is a little device that straps on the child's body, zips up, and has a string to it. And you hold on to the string, and they walk, and they can't separate from you as long as you have your hand on the string. It's a little different from here because right now they're just holding on to the rope. So this post was divided between people who felt that there was absolutely nothing wrong. They were giving a shout out to the teachers because they said this is a way that you can't miss. All the kids are holding on. And then you got the other ones that are like, hey, what's wrong with y'all? Why do you have to do this? Well, I'm trying to figure out what would be the alternative to taking 10, 15 kids out and making sure everybody got there and making sure everybody got back. So see, I'm a little different. I don't like when people complain and don't have a backup. If you are complaining about everybody holding on to the rope, fine. What is the alternative? All right. So I'm going to talk to my Due Time crew, but I definitely want to hear what you all have to say. We're getting something from Viv, which I figured because she's got little tykies in her little possession each and every day. She said, that's great. I need that. We use those, but ours just have little circles for them to hold, but they can easily let the circle go. I like that one. It looks safer. And that's what I was talking about. They have the other ones where they said that they have like little things that they can hold on to or put their hands in. But I actually like this. I think it's an excellent method. I always talk about my girls. Shawnice, the one in the middle, was always my problem because she would wander. I couldn't send Shawnice with everybody. She would, wherever the party was, Shawnice was not. So if I took them to a birthday party and all the kids are in the living room, Shawnice would always migrate somewhere. And I never forget one time, I was like, where's Shawnice? And she was a little thing. She was like their age. She was like their age. As a matter of fact, she could have been a little smaller, younger. And when I went, I looked around. Shawnice was in the kitchen walking around in circles. Just la-da-da-da-da. Yeah, that's the way she always was. It didn't matter. Shawnice was not one for just blending with people. She always had a very close circle. Even now, very close circle. You know. But for people like Shawnice, for kids like Shawnice, you would need that. Because Shawnice would be the one. You know how you have all the children in the middle following the lead teacher and the teacher in the back? Shawnice would be the one where the teacher got to hold their hand. Not because she was ever bad. Shawnice was never misbehaved in school. But Shawnice would wander. And I could never leave her with just anybody. I'd have to talk, okay, so-and-so. You're going to have your eye on Shawnice. And it was only those few people. So I actually like this. I don't know who doesn't like it, but I'd like to see when we start talking. Anika says, they also have those multi-seat strollers, but I don't see anything wrong with this rope. Keeps them from running off. Absolutely. And that's what one of the teachers said in the article. This way, because we have those children who just, again, walk off, and we don't want that. So I thought that was a good one for today. Let me get with my due time crew. Let me talk to my girl Tamika. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am well, thanks. How are you?
Good. I am well. A little upset because we didn't really get to the nitty gritty with regard to these names. Now y'all know we got some real good ones that we can get. Just on this broadcast, I can think of Sharon Dell. And some other ones that we have had that were really, really bad. I can't remember the one that sounded like Noxema, but yeah, that.
Oh
that
my
part.
gosh. I was going to ask each of you, if there was a name that was just like, absolutely not.
I got two for
what
you.
happens. Okay, what you got?
LaDasha.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Hey. And the other one.
Yes, that was a big one.
LA-A. That's it. No DASH. Just. And I'm trying to remember the other. I can't remember the other one right now. Oh yeah, Alpha, the letter N, Mega. So Alpha and Mega. That was a female. That's her name.
Alpha and Mega.
So when you say it real fast, it's Alpha and Omega. But that's her name.
So she got. Oh, y'all done ran out of stuff for real. Oh my goodness gracious. All righty. That's why I said I'm going to come around and ask, okay, which one stuck with? So Pastor Vinny, think about it. All right. So we've got a couple of things here. Let me get rid of that one because we won't be talking about that. All righty. Well, let's go to the last story we got. So what do you think about this rope? It's a red rope, so it's easy to spot. It's not black. And each of them little people, oh my goodness, do you see the little feet, Tamika? Do you see the little feet?
And the little cheeks.
Yes, and the little hats. Everybody got on the. Wait, do you see the little hat turned backwards? I'm mad. The one in the yellow. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
looking at a different snapshot. But yeah, the one in the yellow with the hat, with the baseball cap turned backwards.
Right.
Oh my goodness gracious. They are so adorable. All right.
I just
So in
realized
your
it's the
opinion,
same shot. I
sorry.
just realized it's
Yes.
the same shot. Yeah.
Yes, it's the same shot, just in a different, look at the little legs. I'm like, oh my goodness. Can you imagine walking 10, 15 kids and you have to go chasing one of them little legs around trying to catch up to them?
So I have a school in my neighborhood, and so sometimes I can hear them coming from one place to another. First of all, they're loud, they're giggly, they're talking, they're chattering. Now let's just look at that picture one more time. I'm sorry, Shantice. One more time. Look at the child in the purple.
Yes.
So you're gonna that's just one child. Now you got 15 children. You got one that's not looking where he's going, and he's in the barrier. He or she is in the barrier, in within that line. You see them, they're not aware of the street, they're not street conscious. So,
Right.
Wherever you lead them, they go, and
Right.
sometimes, I had it yesterday, ironically. This little boy was just enchanted by me. And I was at the laundromat. And he was like, hi, and his mother was over there, so children are not aware of all of those things. And everybody's a friend when you see them, and,
Right.
They can walk off, they can run off. I remember dealing with some children. We got a runner. Every time you turn around, you just take off running.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't mean that anything was wrong. Didn't mean that somebody hurt him. He would just take off running. Now imagine you're responsible for 15 children. You look
Right.
away for some reason because you got to cross the street. You got all these children and one takes off running, and you miss it. Or you got to take off running behind this one. Now you've left the 15 or 14 together. That's
Right.
a big responsibility. You are
Right.
responsible for precious cargo. And so I have no problem with these things. I remember back in the day, we used to walk hand in hand. It was 2 and 2, 2 and 2.
Right.
But what happens
right.
when the 2 go off?
Right.
So
Right.
you have
right.
more of a chance that 2 can run off because they're not paying attention. No, I
Right.
have no problem with these restraints at all.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to you and I'm looking at the little shorts. I am intrigued by little people. I am the little feet, the little shorts. But you're right. How can you keep everybody in tow together and be assured, like you said, even the 2x2, you're still running a risk. You're still running a risk. Oh, where's my Pastor Vinny? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. Doing well this morning.
Good. Good. So I gave you a chance to think, Pastor Vinny, because I knew Minister Tamika was gonna be firing up them names. So I gave you an opportunity to think, what is one of the worst names you have ever heard outside of Vincent?
Outside of it. Well, like my siblings, all of us right now are across the 60-yard line.
Okay.
All of us are across the 60-yard line. So we go back. So we had some old names. They're not bad. My brother's named after a grandfather, Cyril.
Okay.
You don't hear that. It's not bad. It's not bad. One sister was Isabel.
Oh wow. Okay.
Isabel. The knee baby was Julia Floria. Her middle name was Floria.
Okay.
Named after a very nice lady. But my mother wasn't, into all the hysterics, So
Okay.
it wasn't bad. We didn't find out about weird names until actually we went to school.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay.
then
Okay.
all kind of things. Now the name that I posted was one of Nathaniel was teaching music for a time as well. And
Right.
so that was down in that was down in that was down where they had that Parker where they had that shooting
Okay.
down in Central Florida, and so now was a teacher there, and the kid he told everybody write your name on this paper, you know. So he's looking at the paper and he sees shithead. So Ned is like, he's a Holy Spirit. Now this cannot be for real.
Yeah.
He said, he
Oh,
looked
Lord.
down and said, am I being punked or what?
Wow.
So we told the young man, he said, now listen, I don't want to insult your name, but tell me how you pronounce it. And the young man said, Shafid. Shafid.
Really?
That's the name. But it's written Shithhead. So it's like horrible.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
We don't think that these kids are gonna have to carry this moniker for the rest of their lives.
Right.
You know, this is it. There is no middle ground. You know, we're gonna have to hoist this through rain, sleet, hot, cold.
Yeah.
You know, so we, in our choosing, we thought of people that we admired. We thought of people that were solid, and so we didn't get the crazies. So you know, Nat is Nathaniel Vincent, Marcus is Marcus Allen, and our youngest son is Benjamin Taylor. Now I was able to add and choose my daughter's name, Sharice. Sharice, a Jewel.
Okay.
No, that's all of me. So
Okay.
thank God for that, and she has become a jewel. Thank God for her.
Okay. Well, thank you. Where's Pastor K? I saw him show up on this thing here. Where is he? Why is that what we see when we first open the screen? You know what? He is so ridiculous.
He has
Good
risen.
morning, Pastor KL.
He has risen.
Somebody
He has
took you
risen.
Somebody took you out the water.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, Pastor KL, you threw some names up in that. Wait a minute. You threw some names up in that chat room, but which one would you say is the absolute worst name?
Well, you said Jacqueline, but her name is actually pronounced Jacqueline.
Right.
Really?
Jacqueline, yes,
Yeah.
Jacqueline Carr.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think that's like really really colorful, if you will. Really
Okay.
colorful. You
Now
know?
say it again.
Jacqueline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is that the one that hits the top of your list?
Well, no, there is a. Funny enough, down here in the South, there's a guy. And I looked at his application about 2 weeks ago, and the name is Buick Armstead.
Oh,
Buick, like the car.
Wait. Gosh. Is it spelled like that?
Buick. Buick Armstead.
Why?
I don't know.
It's like when we named our girls Porsche and Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, come on. What
And
Buick?
and then when they grow up, they look like a Yugo.
You know what? I'm not messing with you. I am so not messing with you. I'm so not messing with you.
They don't even look like a Mercedes.
Buick?
And them looking like a gremlin.
You know what? Y'all are bad. Where's Shantice at?
Morning.
Good morning. Good
Morning.
morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good.
Morning.
What is the absolute worst name you have ever heard?
It was definitely the Ladasha. I had a coworker when I was working at Cheesecake, and he laid out the story of his girlfriend who was a teacher, and of course taking attendance. And she's like, Leia, Laia, and she said, the little girl still like, no, it's Ladasha. He said with the attitude and everything. And I'm like, but why? It's bad enough that it's Ladasha, but then it was spelled LA-A. So everybody's supposed to look at this dash and understand that I'm supposed to pronounce the symbol. I'm supposed to say the symbol. Horrible. It's like no one wants their kids to work. That's always my tagline. How are we supposed to get a job with Ladasha? Whether it's spelled all the way out or whether you're hyphenated. Like, you don't want your kids to work.
Wow. Well, I gotta tell you that the Ladasha, I remember that was from like years ago, and nobody could even believe what that was. You really
Why?
Yes. All right, Pastor Vinny. There's Shanti showed a picture of the rope that's between all the little ticky tikies here. And there's wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I got some comments. We've got Anika who says Wilfreda. Is it Wilfreda? Tamika says, I knew a girl named Pelvis. She must have given her mother all sorts of trauma in the birthing room. Hey, Pastor Brenda, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Nika says, I heard a long story. I heard long ago the girl who wrote her name Ladasha pronounced La, whatever that is. Oh my God, Ladasha. Okay. Good morning. We have Mans. Thank you. So he's throwing an Escalade. Like supposed to be Escalade.
And they can't even afford these cars. But they can't even afford the cars.
Wait, did you see the spelling? Escalade, A with an accent mark, E. So Escalade, no.
And you better pronounce the.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Nika says, oh, that was your story at Shanti's. Miss Grace says, my husband wanted to name my daughter Adeco. I told him absolutely not. I don't even remember how to spell it. I spelled it for the birth certificate, and that was it. It was a middle name, Adeco. Wow. I know she would have been mad right about now. Yeah, Terrence, Ladasha. All right, Pastor Vinny, we're back to the little tykes with the red rope between the three of the little ones. And some people are actually warring about this. No, what? Somebody check out the one with the sunglasses. But is there a problem with this for you, Pastor Vinny?
No, none at all. But before I say that, Shantice, I think your mama is waxing nostalgic. I think she's trying to go back to the well.
Oh no! Oh no! Pastor Vinny. Because I remember the harness. Do you remember the harness, Pastor Cal?
Yes, Lord Jesus. Yeah.
So is this a good thing with this rope, Pastor Vinny, or not?
This is an absolute good thing. This is one of those things where people who want to complain about anything and everything.
Yeah.
You know, what? Why wouldn't you want something that will keep your child protected? Anybody can run up there, grab the kid, and keep moving. You know, not only could they just walk away, but you know, someone grab your kid and gone. I like the fact that there's a person in the front of the line and a person in the back of the line. So you know, you got somebody looking, you know, able to see all different angles. I mean, this is excellent. Now there were a ton of us. It reminded me of when we were growing up. You know, we were like stairs. So there were 5 big ones and 5 little ones. So we had to pair up. The big ones paired up. The 5 big ones paired up with the 5 little ones.
You know what?
And that's how we travel. That's how we travel on the walks, on the subway. Everybody got their instructions. You know, stick with your partner. You know, don't let the big ones, don't let the little ones go. Hold on to their hands.
Oh my God!
Yes. There was once the trains were so crowded, we got separated. So, but with proper instruction, everybody got off at the next stop, and when the next train came in, the rest of them were on that train. We got back on, we were reunited, and it feels so good.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it was fun.
All right,
growing
Pastor
up.
Vinny.
It was fun growing up.
Okay, nice, nice story. Okay, great. All right, Pastor KL.
Well, you know what? In the beginning, when I saw this, I was a little offended. I'm not gonna lie. It seemed like the light-skinned folks started this at the beginning with the one leash, with the one child. You know,
yeah.
And I used to always be like, why is this child on a leash? And then when you show this picture, it's almost like, you know, the chain gang is on a leash.
Oh my gosh! Oh,
and I'm
my
like,
gosh.
why? First of all, who takes out 10 children under the kindergarten stage outside? That's suicide. Why would you want to do that? You know, but I guess it's a good idea. But I do remember, you know, back in my days, my parents used to say, you stick right by me. You don't go nowhere. And one day we decided in Alexander's, I'm not sure if people know what Alexander's is.
Yeah.
We decided that we was going to do our own shopping. My sister and I. Now we were like 6 and 7 doing our own shopping. And my mother pretended like she was lost, watching us all the time. We crying, we screaming, we looking for mommy, all this stuff, yelling, having. Now my sister, she was dramatic. She had tantrums. She was on the floor. She was rolling around like she was Patti LaBelle. I was like, listen, we are lost. And my mama looking at us. Finally, she catches us and say, listen, I told you blankety blank to blank. Don't leave my side. We never left her side again. We was latchkey baby after that.
Oh my goodness. Well, Pastor KL, for the record, the nursery or the daycare need to take the children outside. Like recess for the elementary school, you know, or the junior high school. So they need some fresh air. They need to stretch their little legs. So,
yeah, but you know, here you go right outside into. They have their own playing yard. You know, their play yard. You don't have to go nowhere.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, it's interesting that you should bring that up because in the city, they have daycares that are storefronts. And that's the first thing I thought about. I was like, well, what they do with the kids when it's time to take the kids out? Because now you put the kids on the street.
Right.
They don't have backyards and things like that. You know, I come from even in the Bronx, you know, they didn't make daycare storefronts. Right. You know, it was a building. They would be on the roof with the high fence. They would be in backyards. I never. So when I would, I was like, what? Why? But because it's the city, and the people who live in the city are living in the city, and city have nothing but buildings and storefronts. So unfortunately, this is what happens when you want to take the kids out and they don't have like a a yard or something that's right there. So this is what you get. All righty. We have, hold on. We have Anika says they are adorable though. Pastor Brenda says, Pastor Steph, I got you. I will deal with Pastor Vinny later. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. Then you have Serge who says his name is LaQuisha. If with your back turned, that is all out. You know who that is. Pastor Brenda says, I'm all for the rope. Some of these kids, are the Tasmanian devils. You have to keep them in line. Vivian says, we take them on walks around the school. Some schools don't have what?
Don't have parks.
Don't have parks. There's a symbol. It's right in the middle of my words. I'm sorry. Don't have parks, so you do what you got to do. And that goes back to when I said in the city, when they take the kids out, you actually see them. Now, I didn't see them with the rope. They were all holding hands like a chain. They were holding hands. But I'm for the rope because, it's like if you dragging little LaQuisha and Bobby and LaDasha and little Irma and Risen and Neve, that's gonna be a little difficult. But if you have the rope, at least that gives them a little space to kind of walk. So yeah, I get it. I definitely get what Vivian is saying. Do what you got to do. All right, Shantice, as we close this out, what say you about the red rope?
I was like Pastor KL. I was a little like, what? Initially. And for me, it's mainly because of all of the other different things that I've been hearing that they've been implementing with these students in some of these schools with some of the students, the different tactics in the name of keeping them in line. And it's just ridiculous. At the same time, as you guys were talking, I remember being on school trips. I remember being in summer camp, and it would be a lot of us. And we will all know how to just stay in the line. You had the boys' line, you had the girls' line. When it came time to cross the street, you had a teacher or counselor in the front, a teacher, counselor in the middle, a teacher, counselor in the back. And the one in the middle would stand and be the shield. I guess the car was supposed to bounce off of them if it came speeding down to try to hit us. But they would be the shield, and we would cross the street. Summer camp, mainly, we would take the subway to go on trips. Everybody knew you better stay together, or it was very bye-bye to you and your parents if you decided to wander off. But for the most part, everybody stayed together. But now, since you have the LaDashas and the LaQuishas and the Rizens and all of this, who knows how to stay in line when your name is that? You don't know how to stay in line when you do that. People underestimate these things. Okay? If you have sensible names, you have a sensible mentality. You got all these crazy names, the mentality is out the window. But it has a lot to say too about the type of children that we are breeding now. When once upon a time, yes, you always needed monitoring, but it was a lot easier to keep all of the children in line. And we were huge classes back then. Like now it's like how many students to a class? I think they started breaking a lot of these classrooms down now, where there are not as many students in a class as they were when I was growing up. So you would have like almost 30 kids going on a trip, and sometimes they would couple the classrooms up to go on a trip on public transportation. We ain't talking about no school bus. And now you need things like this in order to keep the children in line, because like Pastor Brenda said, these kids are so unruly. Little people like this are so unruly, And in order for you to keep your sanity in your job, you're gonna have to tie them up with a rope. You know, you're
not tied up.
But I'm just saying like that. When you first look at it, that's what comes to my mind. No, right. You have to restrain them. You have to keep them together. Especially talking about crossing streets. You can't, risk that. But I also think too, it says a lot about who you're breeding at home. Think about it. Does my child have to be on this? Because I'll be mad if I got to the school and they said, well, your child is the reason why we have this. See, that's when I'd be mad. Not because your child is one of the 10 or one of the 15 that we're, with. And just to make sure everyone is together, this is what we do. No, but because of your child is one of the main ones why we've implemented this. See, that's when I'd be mad. So are we doing that? Are we assessing our children and making sure that we're not breeding the reasons for?
Well, that's the one that's holding the teacher's hand. They ain't putting that one through.
Right. So now, but now you only got 2 teachers. Because I've even been speaking to people who used to be in education, and one, he didn't join the police force. He's like, I'm arresting people now and walking into gunfire. I have to leave the classroom. So now you'd rather be in law enforcement.
Classroom.
Okay? Right. You'd rather be in law enforcement. So now the teachers have dwindled. The students have increased. Sometimes, with some. But so now the teacher can't hold everybody's hand. Back then, you may have had that one that needed, and a lot of times they be the ones that get left at the school and they go to the next teacher's class while their class is out on the trip. But you can't hold everybody's hand.
All righty. So we got a couple of comments before we go on to our next phase. We have Tamika. Tamika says most names beginning with Shay, Day, or Da, or Da, or J concern me nowadays. Mm-hmm. Vivian says class sizes are just as large, if not larger, but it's the kids for sure. Yeah, because you don't need the kid that breaks away. That's always going to be. You always got one of those who is kind of, and that's what I took when I saw Pastor Brenda's Tasmanian Devils. It's like you see them now before you know it. This quick, they off. Adele, hey Adele, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Adele is thinking and cracking up. All right. We played a video yesterday for the PSA. Shanti's played PSA yesterday. And it was very, very powerful. And I wanted to, in our little time, to do our church folk segment. I wanted to hear it and for us to comment on it. Vivian says, I think about alternative jobs every day, child. And now most schools force you to take everyone, no support. Yeah, that's got to be. I'm sure a lot of teachers have changed professions, unfortunately, because it's not easy. It's not easy. God bless the teachers. I teach the Bible. That's all I say.
Yeah.
God bless the teachers, because you got to have a special gift for that job, because that's a challenge. All right, Shantice, please play the PSA for us and let us chat.
Read something that said, you can't fool somebody that prays and talks to God about everything. Either tell them the truth or God will. And when I was little, I always used to hear, don't worry, everything will come to light. And that is literally the truth. You will see, the closer you get to God and the more you get into God's presence, there is no one and no thing in this life that can form against you and prosper. That is why the Bible says, no weapons formed against me shall prosper. And that is when you believe God for what he is doing in your life. That is when you trust God for what he is doing in your life. That is why you say the hard prayers. God, remove anything and anyone who are not meant for me. And you don't even have to explain. That is why you need to be intentional with your prayers. That is why you need to be intentional when you are talking to God during your quiet time. And if you don't have quiet time during the day, I highly recommend that you sit in God's presence and you enter that silence. The Bible says, enter silence and seek me. Then you will be in my presence. God hears you. God sees all things. But God will not force you to go to him. You have to have that urge and that willingness in your heart, in your spirit, and in your mind to seek God in all you do, to involve God in all you do, to allow God to lead you in this life. I hope this message reached the right group of people.
All righty. So there were some things that were said, and what stuck out to you and why? Stuck out to you and why? All right, Pastor Vinny, why do you think something she said was really something that God's people really needed to hear?
Um, for me, mainly it was the importance of spending time alone with God. We get so caught up in our daily lives and the rush here and the rush there, and often that time is oh well, I'll make up for it later on. Oh well, I'll make up for it tomorrow. No, it's important for us even to set an alarm, schedule it, and make sure we stay committed to that time with God. I know that when I don't do that and I'm just running like a chicken without a head with his head cut off, all kind of crazy things go on, and I'm left in the lurch. I'm left scratching my head. But it's when I get intentional about it. It's when I purposely stop everything. Some people even say, cut off the television, cut off everything. So it's just you and God, whether it's you, God, and the Word, or even just you, the music, or whatever. But be intentional about it. Make sure that you are actually getting into God's presence, and then not talk so much. We need to learn how to listen. Learn how to listen. We have one mouth and two ears. So it's important for us really to spend that time and make it count.
All righty. All righty. Minister Tamika, let's stay right there for a minute. How important is it that we spend time alone with God?
It's crucial, and sometimes, what people do is, you run and run, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna give God, a couple of minutes, almost as if it's like a piecemeal, like, you've done everything else, and now, that you got a free moment. And then even in that free moment, you're either not thinking about God, you're focusing on something that you got to do later on the day. If you have children, that time is interrupted, or a spouse, sometimes that time is interrupted. Like, be intentional. You are supposed to be with God from 5:30 to 6:30. Then give that free time, that free open time with God. And then not only that, this is not a wish list, or give me this, let me have that. I want this. I want, literally take time to listen. A lot of times we blah, blah, blah. Listen to what I'm doing now. Just blah, blah, blah. Let God be in tune with you, and you be in tune with God, not just, spouting out what you want and what you need, but listening for what, he wants to say to you. It's not a one conversation. It's not a monologue. It's two people talking, listening and talking. If I'm talking all the time, I can't listen.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shantice, where do you say the value of spending time with God? What would the value be?
It's enhancing your relationship with him, enhancing your relationship with yourself. For the time that he's leading you, telling you to spend with him. Yes, so you know, we really underestimate how God chooses who he doesn't choose everyone to get to know him and at a certain point. So he's chosen you to get to know him. He's chosen you. He doesn't need any of us. But the fact that he wants us is one of the things that makes him amazing. Now, I don't need you, but I need you because I want you. Like, it's important for me for you to understand that I want you. And it's important that you understand how I want to advance you. And there is no advancement if there is no real one-on-one quality time with him. So in order to, you keep going to God, like, I want this, I want that, I want this, even if you, in addition, pay attention to the things that you tell God you want, how do you really expect to gain those things where it's going to be lasting if you don't spend quality time with God? Because who are you getting it from?
Okay, okay. What about you, Pastor KL? What are you going to add to this value of spending time with God?
Well, I mean, we all know it's very, very, very important to spend time with God. I think most importantly, with the dialogue, you have to be able to listen. A lot of times we talk, but we never listen. We just talk and talk and talk and talk, even in regular relationships, but we never listen to the response. And then when you ask God for things, you gotta be okay when He gives you exactly what you asked Him for. We say, Lord, I just heard you say, take away everybody who doesn't mean me good. Now, when they start taking away that boyfriend that you're so in love with, that girlfriend that you're so in love with, because you can't see the bad, when they start taking away your mother and your father because you can't see the bad, when you say, Lord, I want to be more like you, and then He starts taking things away from you because He needs you focused, you got to be careful what you ask for. A lot of folks want things, but they're not ready for it. They're not ready for the process. I want to lose weight, but you don't want to go on a diet. They want the hourglass figure, but they want to keep eating cake. You can't do that with God. If you asking God for certain things, to take certain things out of your life, to make me more like you, to trim me, then there's going to be pruning. You're going to have to go as a diamond and be crushed sometimes. And no one wants to deal with the crushing. No one wants to deal with the heat, but everybody wants the results.
All righty. I'm going to start with you, Pastor. Wait, that was you, Pastor Vinny. Pastor KL, I know you're going to have to make a shift soon. So, what was something that stuck out to you in what was presented in that PSA?
Um, oh, Basically, what I was just talking about when they said that we want what's best for us, and anybody that's not around, anybody that's around us, take them away. People can't deal with the takeaway because we've been so comfortable with these folks coddling us. We've been so comfortable with these folks. When I do wrong, they do wrong. And a lot of times it's their example that's leading us the wrong way. And God has to get you by yourself in order for you to figure out that that's not the way to go.
Okay, okay. Minister Tamika, what was something that stood out to you in
the cues that God gives you? He'll tell you things because you're in relationship with Him. Guard your heart with this person, or guard your conversation with this one, or not to say something or to say it this way. And there are times that's one of the things that I love about God. Sometimes you're engaging with conversations and the Lord will tell you just as soon as they spat it out, they lied. And there's no way, there's not a person that can tell. And you sitting there looking at them going, there's nothing that you can do about the situation. And then, there are times when the Lord will tell you, that's not true. And then they go, how you know? Because God told me. I'm in relationship with the Father. So there's no surprise on my part. You just sat there and gave me a whole line. And because I'm in tune with my Creator and your Creator, He gave me the inside. So I got the juice, and so that's one of the wonderful things that I love about God. And He'll even direct you, something that you might want to do without, thinking about it. It's almost as if He taps you on the shoulder. No, baby, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go there. Choose a different time, or maybe not go there at all. And those are the things that or you normally go this way, make a left turn. Nobody outright audibly tells you, but God, because you're in tune, even with your movements, He'll engage with you and tell you, no, baby, that's not good for you.
Good stuff. Shantice, what was something that stuck out in that PSA to you?
Definitely the God is going to tell me. One of the things main things that have been sitting on my mind a lot is, I remember being in relationships and always going through my boyfriend stuff. I go through your emails, your postal mail, your text messages, social media. I would go through any and everything I had access to. I would find my way to get access to it because I just had to know. And I would find stuff, and I just had to know. And I remember Pastor Steph would be like, you don't have to know everything. Or if God wants you to know, He's going to bring it to light. But you just don't have that concept when you're in that mode. It's like, I just got to find out. I got to find out. And now, that God is showing me that you don't even have to ask questions. People just tell all on themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even, before it was, just talk to people long enough and they'll tell, no, you ain't even got to talk to people. You just sit back and about 5 minutes, they done just told you everything. They done showed you most of the red flags. You don't have to. So that really stood out because, again, when you're in tune with God, one of His attributes, one of His traits, one of the things that He does is protect you. He's your protector. So you're not going to have me, God, commit to you. You're not going to have me sit with you. You're not going to have me do my level of investment, I'm able to do in our relationship and with you, and you not caution me to not be with this person, not go there, not do this thing. So He has to put me on. He has to let me know. So while you sit here thinking you getting over on me, I'm looking right through you like, bruh. Yeah, keep talking. Go ahead. So I love that aspect because it's so true. And it's not until you allow God to settle you that He's able to show you that. Like, I got you. You'll never be able to find anything out that I don't let you find out. So you might as well just sit and just let me do it initially anyway.
Okay. I want to give one more out before we go. Pastor Vinny says, she says, God's not going to force you, but allow God to lead you.
Yeah, that's nothing but the truth. We think that sometimes we foolishly believe that we're in control of our situation, that we're in control of everything. Like, but no, God always gets the last laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you only halfway trying to have a relationship. Remember that guy, well, I'll see you on Monday and Tuesday, and I'll see you over there on Thursday and Friday, but it doesn't work. God wants everything. God wants everything. He wants someday through Saturday, 24/7. You know, there's no getting away from it. The word says that he's a jealous God. He's a jealous God. He don't want only part of you. And if you're only trying to have part of him, you're gonna find out that you really have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you only trying to pick and choose, or it's called a cherry picking, if you're trying to, choose what aspects of God you're gonna embrace, and what you're kind of gonna leave on the plate. No, he said, no, this is your whole plate. He said, I want you to take all of it. You don't have to take all of it right now, but eventually you're gonna have to deal with this whole plate. God wants all of us. I think from the young lady's perspective, it's I think the challenge is to allow God to have all of our lives, to be involved in everything in our life, and then that's when we see things turn around. That's when things become revealed to us. That's when we really have a sense of who God is, and all of a sudden we have all this discernment, we have all this revelation. Without that, we just in the forest, we're just in the tall grass.
Absolutely, Pastor Vinny. Absolutely. Absolutely. Minister Tamika, God will not force you, but allow him to lead you.
God is the ultimate parent, and if we could only take cues from God when we're dealing with our children, this entire world would be a better place. You look at a situation where, although we're adults, we don't realize sometimes we have temper tantrums, sometimes we act out, sometimes we do far. God being the parent is telling you go left, and you specifically automatically gonna go right. You determined that you're gonna go right. And what I love about God is he's not so much of a barbarian that he'll cause you damage, but he'll let you go right. He'll let you see for yourself. He'll let you hit the wall, sometimes bleed out, sometimes injured. I'm not gonna force you. I told you to go left. You decided to go right, and you were demanding that you go, okay, now you're gonna have to sit in whatever it is that you did. You're gonna have to, I'll be there to allow you to heal, but you're gonna go left, like I told you, and he's so sovereign in that, even while you're bleeding, even while you're crying, even while you're injured, even while you're going, oh God, he okay, all right, okay. Now get on up, wipe yourself off. I'll even allow you, I'll do the stitching, I'll do all of that. Now, baby, going on back over there to the left like I told you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. I want to read this last comment. Miss Grace says, in prayer, God lets me know that I can't have a lot of friends because he said he wants to be the only influence in my life. So prayer is essential. How will we? Did I go to you already, Shantice?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. All right. So, wrapping this up, putting that with, God is not going to force you, but let him lead you. And Pastor Grace is saying, hey, this can even be done in prayer.
Absolutely. Again, you'll feel him leading you to sit, like sit with me. So, like Pastor Benny was saying, there's been times I've been in here and I'm watching TV. I'm like really into something, and I'll just hear, turn that off, go read. And I'm like, this is the good part. Okay. Sometimes you may try to ignore real quick, let me get 5 minutes. And then there's other times, which has been happening a lot lately, I can't find anything I'm interested in watching. And it's kind of like he's saying, you ain't get this by now. Go over there and read. Like, like there's a reason why your interest is not where it was, you know. And I was just telling Pastor Steph, even Sunday morning, I woke up. I had my plan last Sunday. I had my plan was to not have a plan for Sunday, to do nothing. And as soon as I opened my eyes, it was like, sit with God. And I kind of knew what that already meant. That meant that God wanted me to have plans for Sunday, even though I didn't want to have plans for Sunday. And I was like, all right, okay. But he will leave. But again, I'm not going to force you. He's persistent because he wants you to understand that I will go to the end for you. I will go to the bat for you. And Pastor Steph had us go over a lesson he gave us. And one of the parts of the lesson was, what more can I do? And it was a rhetorical question, because it's like, I'm asking you this because I've done everything. But what more do you expect me to do when I'm going to the end for you? So we can play around if we want, but he's not going to force us because he's not a bully. And if he forces us, then there goes our free will. I gave you free will so you can make your choice. You can't make your choice if I'm forcing you. You'll never be able to say, oh, I'm only doing this because God made me. No, you're going to choose who you're going to follow. You're either going to follow me or you're going to follow that thing you're looking at right there.
Choose you this day. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My due time crew, thank you so very much for your contribution into today's conversation. And we pray you have a blessed day.
Thank
Have
you,
a blessed
too.
day, everybody.
Amen.
Everybody.
Thank you. All righty. So as our due time crew was talking, I thought about our little tikeys and holding on to this red rope. And I started thinking, I was like, you know what? We have to be very careful. There's an association with everything. Or at least God gives me the association with everything. Let me put it like that. Everything is connected, which is why I always ask, what did God say? So Shantice, put up the rope, the children with the rope, please. Put up the babies. Just probably got to pull it back up again. Okay, there we go. Look at this. Look at this. I don't know about you all. Shantice and I, we always giggle when we see little people. And when I look at this rope between all of the children and I see an adult on the front and an adult in the... Woo! Pay attention! When I see an adult in the front and an adult in the back, and some people have warred against this rope. Now, it was interesting to me because I read you some of the, things that people liked, and I read you some of the things that people didn't like. And then when we got around to our own due time crew, it was amazing to me. It just shows that people you could all see the same thing and just get a different understanding, a different meaning. And here's why you hear me yelling, pay attention. Because as we look at this picture, nobody ever said that they saw any of the teachers yanking the rope, pulling these kids in a certain direction, not in the front nor in the back. This is us. Jesus. This is us right here. God in the front, Jesus in the back. And we holding on to the rope. Not being yanked, not being pulled, like we just got finished talking about. The time we just got finished talking about. God's not going to force us. So in other words, you don't see the teachers yanking this rope in any particular direction, but it says, let God guide you. Let God lead you. What we see is them just kind of directing. And in between, you see the children holding on to the rope, and they're moving at their, little pace. And here the teachers are walking with them. Here the teachers understand that the little one with the sunglasses, she might be the little diva in the group, as they call them. You got the other one who's kind of just looking around, like Lady Tamika. She pointed out several, Miss Tamika pointed out several individuals in the group, and how when we look at them, we can kind of see, there's a difference in everybody, which is why there's a rope. Thank you, Shantice. Which is why there's a rope. And some of us see the rope and already see restriction. But this is not restriction. This is guidance. This is a gently led process going on here. And this is how God deals with us. We are standing between him and Jesus, just a bumbling and stumbling along. I talked to you about, my middle girl, and you said when she was in the kitchen that she was, looking around. And one day I remember she was much older, and I asked her to pick up the youngest one. And I just happened to get home early. And I was going to the daycare center and ended up behind Shawnee's. And I just walked slowly behind her. She didn't know I was there for a distance. And she was just walking and kicking the grass and, looking around. And I just had to giggle. I said, Lord have mercy, this is where the girls walk through the street. Just kicking and look, and instantaneously I thought about when she was in that kitchen and all the party, all our bros going on, and she's in the kitchen by herself. This is us. This is us. This is us that says, hey, I'm going to make sure that I stay on the line because I'm appreciating God gently pulling me along, guiding me along. And when I say pulling, I don't mean yanking, but kind of steering, because that's what the teachers have to do. They can't just, walk completely with a back turn. She's got to look out for these cars, other people, so forth and so on. But this is us. And I give God thanks for this being us. That he loves Stephanie so much that even at 59 years of age, I still have a rope that I can hold on to. That God is in the front and Jesus is in the back, and no one has let go yet. I can't war against the rope. No matter how I look at this rope, I don't see this rope against me. I see the rope for me. I see this rope being here to help me along the way. And everybody else, woo, pay attention. The world is on the rope. So that class that they're walking with is the world. So Shantice is on that rope, and Pastor Vinny is on that rope, and Minister Tamika is on that rope, and Pastor KL is on that rope. You are on that rope. LaDasha is on the rope. Neve is on the rope. Yo, we all on this rope. And God is just really just guiding us. Not gone over here. Because he understands that at any given moment, as Pastor Brenda so put it, we can be the Tasmanian devil. At 8 o'clock, we are on the rope, and at 8 o'clock and 30 seconds, we could be off somewhere else, doing what we want. But he never lets go of the front of that rope. Jesus never lets go of the back part of the rope. Woo! Pay attention and remember, there's always the available hand for those who need it. Those who just can't be trusted to be in the middle of the rope. But I gotta hold your hand. And here's the best part. We know that those two hands, they are not only limited to holding one hand. So everybody, woo! Everybody is connected to God right about now. If you look at it here, everybody is connected to God. Everybody is connected to Jesus. And the only time we run into problems is when we let go of the rope or let go of the hand. They understand their position, the teachers. The teachers understand that I have to take them outside. And I've got to get some semblance of, I got to get some semblance of order between all these children. Oh my God. I got to get some semblance of order with all the children. I have to take all the kids out. I got to take them all. As Vivian said, I can't leave nobody. I got to take them all. God and Jesus do nothing without all of us having the ability to come along and not only have the ability, but we are all included in the journey. What kind of God is that we serve? What kind of Jesus is that who gave his life, that they have both, oh my God, they have both committed to holding either the rope that's available or our hand. And there are going to be times when LaDasha is the one who's the Tasmanian devil, and Lil Neve is the one who's a little calmer. So LaDasha is going to have to be the one holding the hand, and Neve is the one who needs to be who can be on the rope. But then things may change. And now Neve is going through a little something. She ain't get enough sleep last night. Oh my God. Are y'all paying attention? She ain't get enough sleep last night. She's still hungry. She's still tired, so she acting out. But LaDasha had just enough sleep last night. And what she did is calm down. So now I need to take Neve and hold her hand and put LaDasha onto the rope. Oh my God. Oh my God. I would have never thought to make the connection until the three of them started talking. And I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute. The two teachers, one on the front, one on the back, and this in the middle rope, and all the children holding on to the rope. That's us. Thank you, God. I'm thanking you that the bigger group is, and no disrespect to anybody, because it's how you see it, it's how you see it. But I'm grateful if I can make the connection like this. I am grateful that the larger portion sees the benefit of the rope. That they don't look at the rope and see restriction. I read one of the comments that said, "What are y'all complaining about? They're not choking nobody. What they're holding on to is not around their neck." There you have it. God ain't choking us. The rope ain't around our neck unless we put it there. I can easily see Vivian and other teachers walking with these children, and each child has been instructed to hold the rope this way. And you ever been with a little kid and they all twisted up, and you're like, "What? How you get like that from this? How you get from the?" I told you how to hold a rope. There was no difficulty in holding the rope this way. But how you get all twisted? It's almost like the kid who you sit at the high chair and you put their food in front of them and they eat for a while and you keep peeking in and they're eating, and then you take 1 extra minute, and when you come back, putting this all in their hair, all over their clothes, all in on the cheeks and in the ear. Come on, Pastor Vinny. I know you know what I'm talking about, because the baby, that's such as life as raising children. You're like, well, how? My youngest one, I had to take away the high chair. I had to take away the walker, because she would get out and stand on it. I should know she was gonna be a dancer. She would get out. I had to literally take the stuff and give it away. She walked well before she was 1, but she would get out of the walker and she'd be like surfing. I'm like, what are you doing? I just left you sitting in the chair. How quickly could it be when you got a high chair? The same thing, balancing. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? So I just packed. I was like, before you kill yourself, let's give this away. Wow, there we go. There we go. Oh, wow, wow. Are you catching this stuff this morning? That even the stuff that is meant to do us well, we manage to take and use it for something else. And God's got to say, you know what? Let me just remove this out of your way before you kill yourself. Oh my God, are you paying attention this morning? Oh. You know, I always walk off saying, I talk about them kids a lot, but I got to tell you, it puts so many things into its proper perspective. You probably figure out, why is Pastor Steph hollering and yelling and screaming? Because let me tell you something. God don't miss a beat as to how he wants his message to come across. And the one thing I always tell people, God uses me very practically. I can break it down to the smallest basic way. I don't care what it is we're studying. I don't care what it is. God always gives me a way of just kind of breaking it down. And right here, I just got finished saying, God looks at us at one time and we all right. Next time he takes 5 seconds extra and looks over at us, we got the mud all over our face. We are all in the sand. We are sinking. We are drowning in the tub. All the things that were designed to help us, we have found a way to destroy it, and we can't keep it. And everybody's warring and warring and warring, but yet God is saying, I can't leave you with this. I can't trust you here, because every time I give you an inch, you take a mile. And if I were to close my eyes or go to sleep, you'd be dead. And we war against God saving our lives, because all we see is restriction. All we see is I can't. All we see is I'm comparing this to another portion of my life. And every time I turn around, I can't do something. And I go back to when I was a kid. And every time I do something when I did something when I was a kid, my mother told me, everything I heard, I can't. So now when God is trying to do something good for us, we keep relating it and comparing it to the other stuff instead of keeping our eye on the prize. God is trying to save my life, and let me just let him do his job. Oh, if I don't talk to y'all for the rest of the week, you have gotten what you need right here today. Oh my God, he is amazing. He is amazing. That God is amazing. He is a God with one goal. He says, I don't want to see anyone perish. So he spends every bit of his time making sure that we don't. What are you doing to ensure that you don't perish? Because he's on his job. He's got his son on the back end while he's on the front end. He's allowing us to walk at our pace. Oh! He's allowing us to walk at our pace. So even when we all twisted and we didn't turn around, and you looking back at the one with the sunglasses and the one, I'm trying to figure out who turned his little hat backwards. I'm just trying to figure that out. Is that the way he came to school every day, little daycare? And they said, well, he's accustomed to wearing his little hat like this, so we're going to turn it backwards. What are you, all of three? Your hat is turned backwards like the big boys. Here we go. We trying to be like everybody else. Everybody else wear their hat turned backwards. I want to be able to have my hat turned backwards. But here's the problem. They have been told to make sure if you take the children out, that everyone has a hat on their head. Oh my God. A hat. Not a yarmulke, a hat. A hat that has, if you notice, you got the children on the line with a bucket hat. The bucket hat allows the crown of their head to be covered, as well as the shade to cover their face. It blocks the sun from being directly. So when you turn the cap backwards, guess what happens? Oh my God, you got partial coverage because the crown of your head is covered, but there's nothing to block the sun in the front. Pay attention, because we're like everybody else. We forget that guess what? No matter what we have, God can use it to customize what he wants to do in our life. They didn't tell every parent to bring the same hat. They said, make sure your baby has a hat, because we're going to go out. So one mama says, I'm going to put a bucket hat on. Another mama says, okay, throw this cap on. Another mama says, I got another kind of cap. The other one mama said the cap, the shades, the whole 9 yards. Because she want her to get extra coverage. Because she doesn't want the sun in her eyes. Y'all, if y'all don't pay attention to this here today, you know, it's funny because I knew we had church folk. But I don't know, something just kept telling me, stay here. Just let everybody flush this thing out. Don't worry about church folk. Church folk will take care of itself. And this is why. Because we talked about it long enough for the process to be embedded inside of me. What more could we ask God for? That we are not unprotected until we let go of the rope, or we let go of the hand. He got us covered. Big time. Big time. Big time. Big time. He's got us covered big time. Big time. Shantice described when they were going to camp. One was in the front, one was in the back. and one was in the middle. Here we go. God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Mic drop. Uncovered. There's no uncovering. We so worried about this. We so worried about that. And look at how God got us covered completely. Jesus, God, Jesus, and the Spirit of the Lord sitting right in the middle. That's holding us in place. That's that barrier that we can't see. Amen. Thank you, Father, for loving us that much. Thank you. I can't help but give glory to God for everything that I do, everything that He allows me to do, because it is by His mercy and His grace that I still have a rope to hold on to. In my wildest imagination, as I was reading this last night, wildest imagination, I was like, how do people war against the two women who need the rope to hold it together? Whoa, how could you see this as any different? And then when I started reading the comments of the ones who were, thinking separately, and again, I heard it here today, I'm still blown away. I got to be honest. I'm like, well, how, in what way? How do we get there? How do we get there? And then the Lord gave me this. And I just thank you. Thank you for keeping me close enough to catch all those little tidbits, because that's a gift. And like I said, nothing against all of us having a difference of opinion, because that's what I love about this Due Time crew. You don't never know what you're going to get. You don't ever know what you're going to get. You're going to get a plethora of everything. Everything. You're going to get some of everything. We are not all one. We're not all. We are members of one body, but everybody is different. That ear ain't serving the same purpose as this pinky finger right here. But I pray that you allow this conversation today to allow you to see the bigger picture. That God's got us covered. Stay within the covering. Hold on to that rope or hold on to that hand. And there are going to be some times when we get to the point where God is going to say, I don't have to hold your hand as much. Make sure you can still hold on to that rope. Make sure you still hold on to that rope. Because God ain't holding my hand anymore doesn't mean He's let go. He's just repositioned me. He's said that I've proven myself, that He doesn't have to hold my hand so tightly, that I could just let you grab onto the rope. And if you're smart, I don't care how many years you've been in the Lord, you ain't letting go of that rope. Because that's the disconnect. That's the disconnect. Remember, the Spirit of the Lord is hovering in the middle to ensure you hold on to that rope, that you don't let go and be that Tasmanian devil that Pastor Brenda talked about. Just hold on to the rope. Just follow the Spirit of the Lord. Because the Spirit of the Lord is designed to give you your parameters. Ooh. It's designed to do just that. It has its own role in this whole thing. And trust me when I tell you, He's always on His job. The Holy Spirit is referred to as a him. He's always on His job. Thank you. Thank you, Father. Go back and play this again, and then go play it again, and go play it again. Because guess what? It only came out of Stephanie's mouth, but it didn't come from Stephanie. So I take no credit. Go back and play this. If you can't watch and you can listen, give a few hours, it's going to be sitting out there for you to listen to it. But do not miss this message today. But you got to go back and just talk about the whole entire daycare. Listen to the comments from the very one who has to actually go through this process. This is her job. Think about it and hold on to it. You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew for always coming through big time. Thank you for hanging out with us each and every day and helping us keep that chat room alive. This week we're shifting gears. Last week we finished all seasons 1 through 7 of The Chi. So right now we're on it. We're only focusing on season 8 as it's going up out of here. It's the series finale. We are now catching up to Raising Canaan on Stars. So this week we will be reviewing season 1 and the first episode in its final season 5. So we may be able to squeeze in a special guest. I don't know if it's this week or next week, but a special guest we might be able to kind of squeeze on in there. So make sure you join us right here on this channel live, Facebook live, Instagram live, YouTube at 7:30 on Thursday, God spares. All right? Don't forget. Oh, until tomorrow, God spares, where it's Wow Wednesday. Now, Vivian is on vacation, and I hope she ain't going to plan on picking up no phone telling me, Pastor Steph, I can't do the socially conscious segment because I'm going to be real mad because I can't do it like Vivian does. So hopefully, keep my fingers crossed, Viv is on it for tomorrow morning. If not, it'll still be socially conscious. It'll just be a little different. But Wow Wednesday is still up for tomorrow. God spares our life. Until then, I love you.